come across a girl picking wild blueberries. She smiles and greets you.
On in.
She offers you some from her birch bark basket. You reach in the basket for blueberries, but pull out a handful of small, smooth stones, all the colors of the rainbow. The snickering girl runs into the trees as fast and light as a rabbit. When the stones reach the top of their arc above your head, they turn into butterflies, all the colors of the rainbow. Your heart leaps in surprise. Incredible.
I'm gonna keep that stride stuck in my soul. 'Cause when my clothes burn low and my trains run out of track.
The engines belch black smoke as the ferry churns gray water into froth. A broad-shouldered figure leans out over the rail, eyeing the skyscrapers on the horizon. Nearby, a man and a woman speak in low, urgent voices. He takes her wrist gently. She is weeping softly.
I wish you didn't have to go.
She says,
There's got to be work on some of those buildings going up.
his thumb skates over her pulse point.
I checked every day for a week. There ain't. I'll be back, though. Got your picture in my wallet, don't I? It's not forever.
Her words are split by a sob.
Might as well be. My parents didn't come to New York for this.
She leans against him, the wind tousling her hair. He pulls her to his chest.
I'm leaving because I gotta go. If there was another way...
They stand together, close, quiet, in the stiff breeze.
My vagrant
The hotel is an old manor house that's seen better days. A grand structure surmounted by a gambrel roof that dwarfs the house itself. It's eerily still, but for two boys at play. Each one so small and light, they barely leave tracks in the deep snow. The clerk behind the counter is old, and your room key is worn. But night approaches, and the price is low. Just before you shut the room door, there they are, the twins, staring at you from the corridor. In the morning, as you leave, the clerk asks, "Did you sleep well?" You tell him it was just perfectly fine. You don't mention the small feet trampling outside your door, or the dreams of blood seeping from the bed frame. You don't say that every shadow seemed to contain something vicious and alien, threatening to escape. The snow is turned to a dirty slush that clings to your shoes. On your way to the road, you feel the stare of four tiny eyes somewhere in the shadowed eaves of that crooked house. The stream is a clear, reflective shade of blue, unusual in this region where bog iron colors the river's brown. Across the way, a goat with great leather wings laps up the water, its sunken red eyes fixed on your every movement. You now notice the unnatural absence of wildlife. No fish swim in the stream. No birds sing in the trees. The winged goat drinks with a forked tongue, only abstractly concerned with your presence. Over the hill, a scorched one-room house lies abandoned, 2 of its 4 walls in ruins. The goat rears up, front hooves curled, and stretches its wings out to their full breadth. The goat opens its mouth and wails, a protracted, shrill sound, indistinguishable from the cry of a human infant. It only begins to stop when you take several steps back. The winged goat doesn't follow. Instead, the man is the color of mill dust. His smile creases his face like folds in dough. He gestures you inside the dilapidated structure and shouts over the sound of driving wheels.
You're welcome to sleep here. You don't want to rest by the river. Not in the evening. Insects.
The man shoves the broken door closed behind you. The mill is warm, and the air is heavy with the powder kicked up by your entrance. You realize how easy it would be to drift off on this pile of sacks to the loud but constant sound of the grinding wheels. Consciousness is elusive. Your limbs throb with a dull fatigue, and your eyes are sticky with dust. The man suddenly grips your legs and drags you toward the millstone.
You do not love my daughter. You will not have her. I will not let you hurt her.
His voice is pained, not angry. Your hand catches a flour sack printed with brightly colored flowers. A puff of flour makes you sneeze, and you wake. The mill is quiet, its works long disconnected. In your hand is the faded remnant of what might once have been a bag or a piece of a dress. As you walk along the river near an unfinished bridge, a man with a tool belt catches sight of you. "Hey, over there," he calls out. "You look like you could use a quick way to get some hard-earned money." Hard-earned is right. The bridge hangs high over a perilous drop. "Great," he exclaims. "Suppose you'll want a safety belt. We Thunderbird people don't need 'em. We fly when we fall." He chuckles. You find yourself up high, looking over the rushing river that crashes around the foundation of the bridge. As you work side by side, the man mentions, "You can see Thunderbirds up here if you know how to look." You ask him to explain. "Practice your peripheral vision, if you dare. Last thing you need up here is for them to see you seeing them and come swooping at you," he says laughingly. You only see the clouds thicken. It sure does pass the time working. The man pays you well when you're done with the job.
Stranger, it's good to see you again. You know, I'm gonna see this whole world one day, but for now, I just got my sights set on seeing all 48 of the great U.S. I already seen 10 whole states. That's better than my folks ever done, that's for sure. Plenty of townies and even some tramps treat me like I'm kid simple, but I ain't helpless, and I only act it when I ain't got no better choice, like if I get pinched. I do right fine on my own, don't need nobody but Cass and Flip. Hey, tell me one of those exciting stories. Well, that was something. You spin a good yarn. Freedom? Well, that's what them trains have come to mean to me. Freedom. Crossing a country wider than imagination. Hey, tell me a funny story. You seem like you still got a sense of humor. What's the use in telling sweet, happy tales if in they make you snooze? Huh, the future. I suppose I'll just keep heading west. California sounds mighty fine, and most everyone is heading that way anyhow. I want to hear one of them venturing tales. Got any? I usually like the scary stuff, but your story needed more punch, I think. Travel, yeah, I want to see it all, the whole world. My brother used to read me stories of Jules Verne, of rich folks traveling around the world, and all for a lousy bet. It didn't sit right with me that folk with all the coin in their purse should also keep the world in their back pocket. I aim to grab a little piece for myself. I'm in the mood for something real funny like. Not sure I quite follow that one. This country. I don't rightly know what this thing called America is. I know what I done been told in school, but the words don't fit the picture. What with tramping across the whole thing, figure I'll find out for myself soon enough. Hey, do you got any really thrilling stories to tell? I'm hankering for one of those. Were you trying to scare me? Well, you didn't go far enough. Huh. Sadness. Ain't seen no sight sadder than in the city. In the city, they want you to feel like a giant among giants, like you can do anything. But I seen them shanty camps full up with folks who got nothing to eat or do. Cities serve to make the small feel smaller. Well, sun's coming up, so I've got to get ready to go. Thanks for the tales, friend. Where you heading next? Decided yet? Maybe our paths will cross. I'm going up the road this way myself. Hope I'll see something fun. I generally do, you know. There's interesting things to see everywhere if you keep your eyes open.